Happy Saturday night, everybody, and welcome to a 12-pack from WOMO as we get set for a busy evening of harness racing action. I'm Elisa Blow. Randy Waples will join me as well, the Hall of Famer. Lots to discuss here tonight, and of course, the biggest topic is the weather. It's not as bad tonight as it was last night, and I say that in a nice, warm studio. I'm not outside, but the paddock that we have here obviously is heated. Horses are fine inside, and we will likely have, I would assume, shorter post parades and go straight to the gate tonight as well. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your handicapping. But what's coming is tomorrow, and it doesn't start for us here in the province of Ontario until around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and looks like it could be Snowmageddon. So we'll see how that affects the racing. But so far, so good for tonight's program. We're letting you out if you don't want to race tonight. You can have a weather scratch, and you don't get yourself into any trouble. So there are a total, Randy, of 13 scratches so far. But and I understand that. Listen, if you don't want to do it because of the weather, that's fine by me. Horses obviously have to come first, humans too. But you were saying last night, as you guys were doing the show, there were more scratches coming through. So just because we have 13 now doesn't mean we won't have maybe 16 by the time the show ends.
Yeah, I think the last night there, when as the show was going on, about every 2 minutes, Jeff would say, "Oh, we got another one," and then it would be another scratch. So there was a lot of scratches last night. Like I said, there might be a bunch more tonight, but it's a personal choice, right? You know what I mean? It's not. It's cold. There's no doubt about that, but it's not cold enough that I think it's dangerous.
Right.
That way. It's just cold and it's uncomfortable.
It is.
You know
It
what I
is.
mean?
Yeah. But people had their horses turned out today. It was beautiful and sunny. When they have their blankets on, they're fine outside.
That's the problem, though, is that when it's sunny, when we get out here at night,
it gets a little cooler.
Yeah,
well, it started off -9 when I left the house. It was -13 by the time I got here. We haven't been doing any riding at the barn where I am. It's just not fun for anybody this time of year, right? The kids got cold fingers. I have my fancy vest on. Watch this, Randy. Da, 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 and we're heating up.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, this is what I actually wear in the morning amongst stalls. But then I thought, I'm going to wear that today. And I came into the studio and said to Randy, everything I'm wearing plugs in tonight.
Exactly.
My socks plug in, this plugs in. I'll be warm and cozy.
No doubt about that, as long as there's not a power outage.
No, these are all battery operated. We're good to go. Let's take a look back at what happened yesterday evening. And wow, look at what's going on in this Cullen outfit. 4 winners on the program last night as Team Cullen. They had, 3 wins on that card. But what was the horse that really impressed me again? Code Cracker. He looked so good last week. Back again to win last night. Dave Maneri with a couple of good ones. This barn is off to a great start for 2026. And then we had some blizzard action last night too.
Yeah, no, it was good racing last night. What we did have, with the horses that did show up. I mean, visually it was good, which is nice. That really takes it's bad enough when it's cold that you can't even see the races. That's, absolute worst. But things are going so well for Team Cullen right now that head of the class and Code Cracker can't really quite remember Santa Fe's Appetite. I think he chopped with her, but head of the class and Code Cracker, both horses left out of there with, and both horses got a beautiful 2-hole trip. Just everything is firing for them right now. And that kid right there, Travis, he is doing a phenomenal job out on the track. His whole family does a fantastic job, off the track. They work really, really hard, you know what I mean? But it all comes down to 2 minutes of this kid, doing his thing out on the track, and he is doing an amazing job.
Well, as mentioned, tonight we have 12 races in store for you. 2 of those will be leg 2 of the snowshoe. We started leg 1 last Saturday, and the second race just gets decimated, which unfortunately was the first division tonight of the snowshoe, because we have 3 scratches from that event. So we're taking out the 3, the 4, and the 5 from race number 2 if you're playing the early double. If you're playing the first race, which is where we're going to go to when we start our handicapping, there's 3 scratches so far from there as well, the 5, the 6, and the 10. But quickly, Carmen Osiello, often very, very busy this time of year claiming. doing a lot of business in the month of January so far. He's been, had horses that they've lost through the claim box. They've been, regenerating, putting more new horses, and some horses that they've had in the past coming back into their barn. He's setting up for a really busy night tonight. I mean, look at all the horses he's got in, with the exception of one, and that's the horse that he had in the 4th race, who's a vet scratch.
Yeah, obviously going to have a nice evening in here Saturday night. Busy. But there's a couple of them that I really like in here tonight. Now, in race number 3, I will be using HF Pan Shadow up on top. I think that he's got a really, really good chance of getting into the win column there. Won't be using his other one in race 3, early action. Didn't use him. Kalina Diamond scratch out of race 4, but I wasn't using her anyway. In race number 5, Jack Panic from the 10 hole. He's in a good spot. I'm using him in there for 2nd. Race number 8, Western Wish. She's got 2 in a row. I think that she's maybe trying for her 3rd. I'm using her in for 2nd tonight. And then on race number 11, moving on over, draws the outside of that field, number 8 position, but using her for 2nd as well.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, Shane's Dream to me is really in a nice spot. He takes a nice drop out of them 30 claimers and moves down in class. I'm using him up on top. Remember the Beach didn't use him in that race, but he's going to be year also eligible anyway with the 11 hole. Race number 6, Superfast, didn't use that one. Race number 8, Maloicious, did not use that one. But in race number 10, Century Inspector, using that one on top. So I'm looking at Carmen to maybe have 4 or 5 wins this weekend.
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be. Yeah.
11 horses that they're sending out. That's a busy, busy weekend, and a lot of the horses that he's got in on tonight's program in particular look incredibly live.
Yeah, and the other thing is that Casey Huther always does his warming up for him. He's going to be a busy man tonight.
He sure
there.
is.
He's got to warm up all these horses over the next couple of days. He's going to be cold, Mr. Huther, but he's the guy that's here every single night warming up.
Well,
Carm's
if he
horses.
wants to borrow my heated vest and my heated socks,
I would say not borrow. Maybe he could rent them.
Sure.
Carm's
How much
off
an hour?
to a good.
Yeah,
Carm's off
true.
to a good year.
Yeah, I would say 50 an hour is probably
I would
good.
say for sure.
All right, let's get started with the handicapping. Race number 1 is where we go first. And again, like I said, this early double has been kind of annihilated because of the scratches. We've got 3 horses that are weather scratches from the first race and 3 horses that are weather scratches from race number 2 as well. So we'll start off here in the opener on the program. Now, as Chad pointed out when he was doing the changes, a lot of these horses were supposed to be making their first career starts tonight. But one of the horses that is going to stick around, who's making his first lifetime start, is the 8, and that's Better Things Ahead. James McDonald doing the driving here for Dave Maneri. Horse has 1 qualifier. He qualified with James doing the driving in 2 minutes flat back on January the 16th. Makes his career debut, and you and I know, that... when James drives them in the qualifiers, he doesn't burn them out, right? He makes sure that he saves a lot of gas in the tank for race night. And the 8 is certainly a horse that I think a lot of people are going to look at. He's 1-9 right now. So there's a lot of early money on this horse. I just kind of wondered if maybe the 3, just to be a fly in the ointment, with the experience on his side, American Road Trip for the McNairs, could be a better play at a better price because he has some really interesting references. And that's this horse by the name of Run for the Hills, who is going to be in tonight's Snowshoe. And we saw him make his 2026 debut last week, and it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I mean, really looks good. But going back to the first, I like your thoughts on American Road Trip. I'm going to use him in here for 3rd. He was first up last week, and it was a good effort in against the horse that Elisa was saying, Run to the Hills, made a big splash last weekend. Looked really good in there, but he's going to face a couple of other ones in here, and the one that I'm going to concentrate on now, it was tough for me not to use the 4 horse up on top. 10 Carat Garrett. If the reason that this horse is called 10 Carat Garrett is what I think it is, way to go, Jimmy Whalen, and best of luck in here tonight. But the horse has been racing really, really good over at Flamborough, going to make his first appearance here. But where I'm going to concentrate is the 8 horse Better Things Ahead, as Elisa was telling. This is a Better's Delight colt out of a Western Ideal mare, $74,000 purchase down in Lexington last year. We seen last night Maneri turn one loose last night and was the easiest of winners. I think we're looking at the exact same situation with this one. And like you said, when it comes to James, he does not overextend horses in the morning. So when he's winning with a horse, you know that it's because the horse is really, really good, because he's not going to ask him to win. So let's take a look at better things ahead. He had the 9-hole in this qualifier, showed a little gate speed out of there, got himself into a nice little tuck away in the mid-pack, got away 5th. And this is where he's going to stoke it up. He moves this thing first over, this guy, and look at the power that this guy's already coming. This isn't James asking him to pace, as you can see. This is just this horse that's uncorked, and now he wants to chase and hunt. And here he rolls right up along. And again, look at the body language on McDonald. Now he does move the whip, but all he did was just take it out and basically, you know, just more or less moved his hand, which the horse kind of felt that and realized what was in his hand, and now he moves forward. Again, now James sits back into the seat, no whip, no nothing. The shoulders go further and further back. He's just putting the bit back in the horse's mouth, braving him up like crazy, letting those horses get close to him, but at all times knowing that he can just absolutely, you know, walk away from them at any point. He had the 8-hole, now with the 2 scratches on the inside. He's going to be coming out of our winningest position, the 6-hole. I say all things point towards better things ahead, but I really, really also like this 4-horse in here. I like American Road Trip, but I think that this 4-horse is very interesting.
You know, I just wanted to play devil's advocate in this race because, you know, I mean, we're going to get a very low price on the Maneri first-time starter, and I just wondered if Dougie could maybe pull off a little minor upset. Plus, like I said, this reference is a very good one, and we're going to talk about this horse, Run to the Hills, because we will see him race tonight in the Snowshoe. He's going to be in the 7th race on the program, and he had a really nice debut back on January the 17th. He won by a couple of lengths, and he looks like he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this race, in this division tonight of the Snowshoe. Let's skip the second.
American Road Trip is the way that you are going.
That's where I'm going.
Good.
What the heck,
Nice
right?
pick. Nice pick.
Hey, you know, YOLO.
You're leaving it in the 4 fingers of Beaker.
Yes, I have trust in the Beaker. Second race gets decimated, as we mentioned, because of the scratches. No show, you know, no super, all sorts of things there. That is actually the first division tonight of the Snowshoe, and it looks like Booker Seelster has an opportunity to maybe grab that win for the Fritz barn with Doug McNair. Come on, Beaker, I need you to get the early double for me. That would be good. And then we'll go to race number 3, where we start the early pick 4. And this race, no changes. This is good. So we have a field of 7 in the 3rd race. These are claimers, $40 down to $30,000. And here we find Jody Cullen and Travis Cullen. They've got Wanna Be a Big Star, comes in off a win. And I guess, I understand the horse is, you know, moving up here tonight, where you have the 3, HF Pan's Shadow, who's been claimed back and forth. He's gone back into the Osceola barn. He had a good second last start in behind Code Cracker, who looked phenomenal last week. And then Code Cracker comes back to win again yesterday.
Yeah, and an HF Pan Shadow, you can see that. I mean, he was parked every step of the mile. He went a huge mile. If anything, I would say that it was bad positioning last week. He was just in a spot where he couldn't make up that ground on Code Cracker. And like you said, Code Cracker comes right back and wins again. So obviously, Code Cracker is on good form. But HF Pan Shadow coming out of the Osceola barn, he is going to be the way that I went. I don't think that Jody's going to have this guy in nearly as bad of a position as he had him last week. I think he's going to be a lot more aggressive with him. And if he stays close and he retains that form that he's been showing lately, I think it's his race to win.
Yeah, JJ Xavier is the other horse that you'll see, you know, on our tickets. A lot of people using the 2 as well. He did win a couple of races, one here back on December 27th, and then went to Flammy to win a race there. Came back here on January the 18th, so missed just about a week. Came back on the 18th to finish in 5th behind Code Cracker. Again, you get a good reference from him. So that's the 3rd. Let's go to the 4th race, where we start the pick 6 for the night tonight. This is fillies and mares non-winners of 6,000 in their last 4. A vet scratch of the 7. That's the Osceola horse that we mentioned. That horse will not go. But Cullens are back again, and I'm going to say a lot about the Cullens tonight because I think they got really live shots to win. They've got Glenborough here in this race.
Where did you go?
Glenborough.
Did you go to Glenborough?
I did.
Good for you. Yeah, you know, I mean, she's logical in here. Still, you know, dropping down. Travis, he's had a choice between Glenborough and Shoot the Whiskey. He elects to go with Glenborough. I'm going to use her in for 3rd. this daughter of All Bets Off. I'm going to go Lions Better Day. I think that this is a class that she's been looking for. She found herself up in Fillies and Mares Open, just too tough of a class. Now she's not going to have to face any of those horses. She did win non-winners at 10,000, on December the 12th. The other races, like I said, in my opinion, she was racing good, but just in too tough. Last week, parked every step of the mile, first over as well. So that wasn't going to work for her either. And Style for a Mile is really, really good right now. So Lions Better Day is the way that I'm going to go. But I do have Glenborough in for third.
Well, it's really hard to leave the Collins off your ticket right now.
Very hard right now.
And, lately, sometimes we can get their horses at some prices. Not all the time.
Yeah.
But you got to take a look at the ones that you can find that can give you some value. Fourth race, once again, is where we kick off the pick six for the night. We'll go to race number 6. Sixth race is the mid-pick 5. There are 3 pick 5s on tonight's card because we have 12 races for you. Non-winners at 13-5 in their last 4. Now, again, no scratches. This is great. No scratches, no changes in this race. We've got Salzburg Victor in a really good spot. He's coming out of the Open. The last couple of races I've seen from him, at least since he's come back from racing down in the States, he's almost looking like the old Salzburg Victor. Like when he goes to the front, sometimes his tail just sticks straight up. He's one of those horses, the minute that you see him out on the track, you're like, oh, he is going to be tough to beat tonight.
Yep.
And he really tried back last week in the Open. Obviously, that Open is really, really a tough class right now, and you're going to see that coming up on tonight's program a little bit later on. But Salzburg Victor doesn't have to go against the likes of, Brew Hanover. It's Saturday. Those tough Maneri horses. He's got an opportunity here to get his first win of the season.
Yeah, I think so as well. And that's the route you went.
Yeah,
me too. I mean, I think that he's in my he's a key for me in my mid pick 5. And I just think that he's the horse to beat in here. There's not really much more to talk about this one. I like Jabberwocky. I don't really like his post position, for his style of racing. Double and Dasher always gets a piece of it. And right now, Major Perry, I would say, is probably, pretty nice in with this bunch as well. He's got good speed. He can get himself into a good spot, good draw to work with in here tonight, and picks up Louis. But there's just too much with Salzburg Victor right now. This is a big opportunity for him.
Great opportunity to grab a good check.
What's your vector, Victor?
Oh, you just threw me. I heard that Mr. Zeron came in last night and brought a pet.
Yes. He looked like Cousin It from Adam's family.
I bet he's going to be wearing that pet again tonight.
You know something? I was going to say to him there when he has to go to Sweden for 3 weeks, I think, to see one of his daughters. Yeah, Jerica, I think it is. And I'm not sure if he's going to wear the beaver coat over there, but if he doesn't, I mean, come on, Rick, please, leave the beaver here with me.
Are you sure it's beaver, not mink? I would think he'd have a mink.
No.
Really?
I think it's beaver. I think it's the beaver.
Oh.
It is. And I'm telling you, if you're not going to use it over in Sweden, and I'm sure that, there's no way you can
big to pack.
You couldn't put it in a storage bin.
No that thing needs
way.
I brought one back from Winnipeg one year. It needed its own suitcase.
Yeah. Well, this one is so fresh, it still crawls. So I'm telling you, Rick, if you don't need the beaver coat, put it to your old buddy Randy so he stays warm.
And Jeff said he'd like to use it too. All right, let's go to the 7th race. This is the snowshoe. Now, we talked about this. The first division tonight of the snowshoe comes up in race number 2, but there's all those scratches. And I bet some of these horses wish they were in the second race, right?
Yeah.
Because of the scratches, because this was by far the toughest division anyway for the night. You've got Arthur Idlam, who picked up James McDonald last week. That was a late driver change that we got last week, and he's back to drive this one tonight from Mackenzie Spence. You got Run to the Hills, who had that very nice 2026 debut back last week with Bob McClure doing the driving. And then we have RB's Tenacious T. For who? The Cullens. I mean, listen, you talked about Carmen Auciello having the opportunity to win a number of races on tonight's program, but the Cullens are live once again on tonight's card, and they send out this horse who's looking for 3 in a row, and he's trying to sweep the series. I mean, you and I saw last week, he was the stronger of the 2 divisions as far as the time went. I think he was a full second faster.
And the way he did it. Like, I mean, Tulsa King raced good, but he was also first-time flip-flops. On him. So you would have to think that, after racing in them a week or 2, he'd get even stronger. But definitely RB's Tenacious T looked like the more powerful of the 2 last week. Now, Where did you go?
I went to Arby's Tenacious T.
Me too. Now, this is going to be very interesting because we're looking at a 4-year-old that is really, really on big-time form right now. But to the same effect, you know, I mean, and hear me out on this, $5,000 Lexington yearling, okay? Now you go down to Run to the Hills, who made a huge splash last weekend there. This is a $100,000 Lexington yearling out of Bulldog Hanover, out of a beach mare. And this guy looked incredibly good. But my problem with him is this, is that I think that there's maybe a little bit of secondhand soundness issues with this guy. Only the 2 starts last year as a 2-year-old, and then the 1 start so far this year. He looked good. He looks like he's very, very powerful. But that middle half in a minute, you know, it was just basically a little bit of a sprint to get to the front and then sprint again on the end of it. And he was much the best of that group. But now he's not going to be facing American Road Trip in Hero Hanover. He's going to be facing RB's Tenacious T,
multiple
who went
winners.
5 for 19 last year, who's now 2 for 3 this year, 7 for 22 the last 2 years. This is a horse that knows how to win races. He's on great form. Let's take a look at the replay for RB's Tenacious T, and you know, I do my own charting, you know that, and beside his name I wrote down best, because I just think that he is. So here we go. At this point, like I said, you know, I mean, he's not a horse that I originally, when he came here, that they would do a lot of chops with, and when they would go to the front, it didn't seem like he really liked it all that much, but he is so good right now, and I think he's in this class, and he's, most of them in this class are so easy for him to deal with. He's getting more confident and braver and the whole deal. And look at this. I mean, look at the separation. And this is the toughest of the 2 divisions. And I mean, there was just, you know, if it was a fight, they would have stopped it. So I'm going to go back to RB's Tenacious T. But in my mid-pick 5, I went 2-7.
Yeah, but you have to back yourself up with the 7 just in case. I was going to say as well, you know, just reflecting on last week's snowshoe, one of the other things that you and I had noted as well was in both divisions, the top 3 were separated. It was 2 different races, right? Top 3, everybody else. And the second division, top 3, everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, and like I say, Tulsa King just got there, but there was a shoeing, like I said, you could tell that they were trying to protect those feet, and he raced really good, so you could see him get better. This guy, I mean, there was just no comparison. Like, he was just that good.
We said last week he basically stamped himself as the horse to beat.
I think so, yeah. He's definitely looking for a series sweep.
Absolutely. Let's go to race number 8. The 8th race will kick off the late pick 5. And a reminder, we have 3 pick 5s offered up for you because we have 12 races. Tonight, fillies and mares non-winners of 12,000 in their last 4 starts. A vet scratch of the 6, Aviana, who will not go. And then, of course, you get a dropper in this race, and that's Seclusion. A couple of horses, a couple of these gals are actually coming out of the open. Seclusion is coming out. She's tried it for the last couple of weeks now. She gets Louis Waugh back with her here tonight. And the other one is She's Got It All, who looked fantastic, according to Rick. You know, back on December the 10th, we didn't really get to see anything because she was lost in the fog.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I threw She's Got It All in for 3rd, like you said, dropping back out of that open, but only had to spend 1 week up there, but it was a good one. She finished the 6th right, but she only got beat 2 lengths, so I think she was good to go. Billy Davis coming right back for her. Seclusion is the way that I'm going to go in here, and the biggest reason why is we're going to show you the replay of her last start with J.R. Plant. Going to pick up Louis Waugh. Now, the only kind of scary thing is that Louis drove this girl 2 starts ago. She was bet down to the 80-cent favorite in against horses like Tells on a Roll, Miss Quicksand, and look what she did. Laid an egg. Mile in 2 minutes, you know, but comes back on a 7-day rotation with this effort. So my only guess could be that a horse would race that bad is if A, they were slipping real bad on a bad track, or B, she tied up. And then, you know, maybe, you know, with the 7 days rotation, she should be good. You know, usually if you don't do much with them after they tie up, within 48 hours, their body will reset. So she should be good to go in here. But look at this. Look at JR at the back, looking and looking for room with this girl. And I mean, there is no place for her to go. And look at poor JR. I mean, he he has nowhere. And even if he is able to get up the inside of Billy, where does the next step take him? Takes him right back into lockdown city. And now he's going to try to split up the inside, but there's no momentum. There's no room. He's just trying to get every little, little kernel out of her that he can. So Seclusion, I'm going to go take a chance with her. But Western Wish is on good form right now. She's got it all dropping out of the open, and Style for a Mile also on really good form.
So if you're a trip handicapper, after you saw that race for Seclusion back last week, you probably put a star beside that one, like most of us did, and that's why you're seeing everybody using the 5 in the top spot for race number 8. Once again, the 8th race will kick off the late pick 5 as we go to race number 9. Now, this is the on-track feature for the night tonight, the Open Pace, which has become a lot of fun to watch thanks to the addition of It's Saturday Night. I mean, he has been a super cool horse here on our circuit. He was a winner back on January the 10th. He looked like he was going to repeat exactly the same performance back last week, but had to settle for second in behind a stable mate, that being Brew Hanover, who had a great race. He was reunited with James McDonald. And tonight, as far as reunifications are concerned, Louis Waugh gets reunited with It's Saturday Night.
It's Saturday night, and where did we go on Saturday night?
Of course I put him on
Did you really?
top.
Oh,
It's his turn tonight.
I'll tell you one thing, she is loyal, and there's no doubt about that.
Once I fall in love, I give you my heart.
Yeah, this is it. It's a good thing maybe that It's Saturday Night is a gelding there, because I got a feeling you'd be making a deal to breed It's Saturday Night to so much more.
Oh, could you imagine that?
The Blow Stable is back at it.
And hopefully we get a black horse on it, Randy, and then I can sell him a piece of it.
There you go. Okay, yeah, absolutely. It's Saturday night. Real nice move in here. He's live in here. I got him in for third. I think that the power comes from the outside, and I'm going to go Brew Hanover this week simply because he's on the better rotation. I find that him and Taurasi are really close at this time of the year. Maybe Taurasi had a bit of an advantage on him coming back. I think Taurasi comes back a little sharper when he first comes back. He only needs a start, and then he's right on his game. Sometimes I think Brew Hanover needs 3 or 4. He's a big horse, and some horses are different than other. But Brew Hanover, he's got the edge on the rotation. January the 10th for Taurasi, the 17th for Brew Hanover. He was an easy winner in there. I think Brew Hanover is the one to beat again.
See, there's a couple things here. First of all, I am loyal to a fault, as a lot of people will say, but I'm also a bit of a grudge holder. Are we holding a little bit of a grudge against Taurasi? Because he doesn't normally make breaks.
No. Honestly, the biggest difference with me is the fact that Brew Hanover has the better date.
Right.
And I find that they're very close, Taurasi and Brew, when they're both on the same date. But I always give either one has the better date the advantage.
All right.
So if it was Taurasi coming in with the better date, he'd be on top. But it's Brew, and that's the way that I'm going to go. All
right. The 9th race on the program. Again, our feature race for the evening, the Open Pace. Let's go to the 10th. 10th race has a huge scratch, very significant scratch. In fact, I think aside from the Tulsa King, this would be the one that a lot of people would have been zeroing in on tonight, possibly, that being Power Train, who was going to drop in here to the non-winners of 9,000 in the last 4 and would have looked good in this spot. He is out. He is a weather scratch. Now, last week, I thought I would take a flyer on Uncle Shank. And, they tried their best without outside draw. And because I think there was a scratch in that race. He had 10 holes of scratch, got bumped up to the 9 hole. Today's got a much better post position to work with here. James is going to be back in the bike for Chantal Mitchell. So he kind of moves up, courtesy of the scratch of the 8 Powertrain in my book.
Yeah, I would have to think that, he looks a lot, well, he's going to look a lot better in here with no Powertrain. But the problem with Powertrain now is, what are we getting? I mean, we know the ability that's there, but what is he putting out for us on the track? You know what I'm saying? So I'm, in a way, he was a bit of a mystery for me. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that Nikki chose to do the weather scratch on him. Hopefully, he can get him back on the way that we know that he's capable of doing. I went Get Wings in here. I thought that this one was really good in his last start. Now, I'm going to come back on the had 2 week rotation, 16 days in between the valedictory, where he was the easiest of winners, and then this start. So I didn't use him in this start. I think I had him in for maybe on the bottom of the ticket, maybe finishing fourth. But let's take a look at the replay on Get Wings. And I had him down as good on end up the inside. I thought he was really sneaky good on the inside. Now here he is. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, sitting fifth. He's probably, you know, I'd say about 5.5 lengths out of it. And he's going to put up a nice effort, because this is a nice bunch of horses that he's in against. He's in against Pacino, Hanover, Major Perry in this bunch. So, you know, I thought that this was a bit of a step up. But look, already, Jody's got the shoulders back, and he's looking for a space, and there is no space. Trevor's going to smash up the inside. Here comes Pacino with the momentum. And look at Jody, still no place to go. But now he's going to finally find a little bit of an opening up the inside. Does he go through it? Yes, he does. I think he was more than live in there. I'm going to take a chance that coming back on a better rotation, that he's going to be that much better in here tonight. Has the 6-hole to work with too, and obviously you can see Jody has options. He's good from both ways.
The other horse that I'm happy you tossed in, and Garnet Barnsdale's actually using the horse in the top spot, is Ginger Tree Finney, who's been a little bit of a pleasant surprise as of late. If you got him on January the 10th, you were ecstatic, because he was 50-1 when he won that race, and he just kind of slipped in between horses. Like, that was the night that we had the horrible weather, and I mean, even Evan had a hard time kind of deciphering just who it was who was making that late move, but it was this horse. And then last week, we get a good second out of the horse as well. So there's one from the Crone Barn that's in good form right now.
And picks up McNair, you know, I mean, for the second week in a row. I mean, James was driving him down on his bottom lines. Tony had a real good effort with him there with the time he drove. He only got beat 3 lengths. And then comes back with the Louis Wah win at 50-1. And now Dougie picks him up last week, has a good second at 6-1. I threw him right back in for second. I think that he's the horse that Get Wings has to beat.
All right, that is race number 10. It'll kick off the final pick 3 on the evening as we go to the 11th race. 5-year-olds and younger non-winners at 2 or $30,000 in a field of 8. No scratches, but there is a change. The change comes with the 8 moving on over from the Osceola barn. They're going to let those hobbles out from 57 to 58 inches. They'll go from aluminum to steel up front. So that's the changes on the 8. Moving on over, listed at 7-2 morning line. From the Osceola barn, they have a really busy weekend, sending out at least 10-11 horses on the weekend programs. But this Doc's Ernest is interesting to me too. This is a Kayla Hendry horse who had a great closing effort back on January the 17th to finish in the 3rd place position.
Yeah, he raced amazingly well. And between you and me there, when he come out onto the track, I wasn't really sure about whether I liked him in the post parade. Thought he looked a little, you know, I think that there is a little bit of second-handness with him. I think that that's probably why he races so well for Kayla Hendry, because, you know, she's one of our best grooms, you know, and also is the trainer of this guy. So to me, I wasn't expecting a big effort last week, but he did put it out there. So he could come back with another big one in here tonight, coming back with James. But where I went is the 3-horse, All Bets on Gary, is where I'm going to go. Picking JF McWizard, headed down to London, and picked this guy up off the Horners. And you could see Horner bred this horse. Yeah. I didn't go all the way through them. This is a 4-year-old All Bets Off. My guess is, though, is that Horners have had him all along.
Oh,
so we're probably getting him in for the first time in another barn. And it happens to be JF McGuire. And I really like the job he does. Now, take a look at All Bets on Glory before we show you this last replay of his. In his last 3 starts, twice he's had the trailing position over at London, got away in, you know, what would probably be a bad spot, had to spend a lot of time on the outside, finished second, 3 down, and then his last one finished 4th. And we're going to get a look at that last one. I thought it was not a bad effort when I looked at it, see what you guys think out there. So this is All Bets on Gary. Remember on Howard Stern when Richard Simmons would come on? Gary. Yeah. But guess who? Look at the mare that he's out of. Check out the mare that he's out of. Yeah, get them cheaters on.
Pinky Tuscadero.
Pinky Tuscadero. Come on. I'll say on a Saturday night. Hey. Absolutely. So here we go with Mark Horner and all bets on Gary. Mike, I'm sorry. And on the outside, he's going to be coming. He's got good movement on the end of it. It's just too much ground to make up. Like I said, J.F. McGuire drives all the way down to London, picks this guy up. 7 for 26 last year. Nice numbers there. So I'm going to take a chance. He's going to be my worth a look.
Well, he's clearly been watching him if he took that drive down to take him. Yeah, but you know what I always find interesting too is, being involved in a lot of claiming operations, most times they'll transition over pretty well from one barn to the other. But sometimes when they've been with a barn since the get-go, as in this case, you get them over and they sulk for a week.
It can go one way or the other.
Exactly. And I have, experienced it where they just do not want to eat. They are not interested in participating in anything. They want their old mom and dad back. And there have been exactly. And there have been some situations, at least in my lifetime, where I've gone, you know what, you want them? Take them back then, because there's just something you can't. They are, especially when they pout and they just don't want to eat. It can be, you can put all the Aunt Jemima you want in there, and they're just not interested.
Yeah, no, for sure. It can work two ways.
Two ways.
That's right. Or maybe there's a third way. Maybe he'll just be lateral. Who knows? But I think that it's worth a chance, with what McGuire's done in the past when he's got his hands on a horse, to take a risk and see what's going on.
Oh, I think so too. I'm just saying, not every time do they like leaving home.
Gary.
I see, Randy and I have exactly the same personality. He says, look at the mare's name, Pinky Tuscadero. I know exactly what he's talking about. Gary and Richard Simmons, I know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, unbelievable. Let's go to the early pick 5. As mentioned, we have 3 pick 5s, an early, a mid, and a late. You've got the early for us. Okay,
so in this one here, I am going to make a change. I guess I'm allowed. But in race number 2, with all these scratches, I'm going to single this one. Jeremy Gurbatin with your quick draw on the pencil. In race number 1, I'm going to go with the one. In race number 2, I'm going to go with the one horse only. So that's going to make that ticket a little bit cheaper. It's now going to be a $27 ticket. It's going to be in there. So race number 2, single of Booker Seelster now. There's just, it's down to where I think that it's his race to win in there. Going to start out a little bit of power, 3, 5, and 8 in the first. That's going to be the horse that Lisa likes, American Road Trip. If I could change also, because the 5 is now scratched, if I could change the 5 to the 4, that would work out too. So it should be 3, 4, and 8 in the first race. Thank you, Jeremy. And then in race number 3, singling HF Pan Shadow. Race number 4, singling Lions Better Day. And then hitting the all button in race number 9, hoping that I get a price, because if I don't, it's going to be pretty spotty.
Well, you got to pick 6 as well to pass along to people watching at home. That kicks off in race number 4.
Yeah, the pick 6, interesting again. So in race number 4, I'm changing it up a little bit. This is going to be a single of Lions Better Day. Race number 5, again, I'm going to stay with the all in here. I'm going to be able to afford it. Race number 6, Salzbrook Victor is going to be a key. Race number 7, RB Tenacious T is going to be a key. Now, if somebody wanted to add Run to the Hills to that one, it's still going to be a cost-effective ticket. In race number 8, Seclusion is going to be a single. And then in race number 9, I go Tarasi and Brew Hanover. Again, it's going to be a very cost-efficient pick 6. So if you wanted to throw in Elisa's Boyfriend, it's Saturday night. It probably wouldn't be a bad thing to do.
All right, that's a good suggestion. I've got a mid pick 6 for you. Now, you don't have to play it for $36. You can play it for 20 cents if you want. But in the 6th race, I'm keying Salzburg Victor. I think he's a key on tonight's card. I had a tough time keying RB's Tenacious T in the 7th race, only because I'm not sure about Run to the Hills. And we did talk about that one. I thought, well, if you're going to do that, maybe toss in Arthur Idlam with James for the 2nd time. 8th race, I probably should have keyed the 5 if I wanted to get it down, but I still think the 7, the 0 on mare's doing fantastic. This could be one of her last races. She is going to get bred in the next little while. 9th race, of course, I got it Mr. Saturday Night, or It's Saturday Night, as well as Brew Hanover, the Maneri dynamic duo. And in the 10th race, I went to Uncle Shank, better post position to work with here tonight, and Get Wings, which is a horse that Randy likes, which makes me feel even better about that mid pick 6.
Beautiful.
And you've got a late pick 5. Look at
I
you.
sure do. I sure do. Look at
Oh, you
me
got a mid
go.
one too?
Huh?
All right. Okay, you got a mid one. Wow.
Yes, you know it. Okay, so in the mid one, I'm going to start this one off with a single, and that's going to be race number 6, and that's going to be Salisbrook Victor. Singled in there. Race number 7, RB's Tenacious and Run to the Hills in my mid pick 5. In race number 8, it's going to be single Seclusion. In race number 9, Tarasi and Brew Hanover. And in race number 10, down to a field of 7, and that is going to be All.
Ooh, just getting a late scratch coming in here too, guys. And
Which
this
race?
is the first one, race number 5. We are going to take out the 8. Beyond Better Will Not Go. So that's the 5th race. Take the 8 horse out. I'm going to assume that's going to be a weather scratch.
And that gets me down in my single and alling that race.
Oh,
gets
that's
me
a
down
vet.
to
That's a vet 6.
Field of 8.
All right.
So
Okay.
now it's a $24 ticket I'm down to.
Okay. Things are getting better.
There you go. I'm making money just sitting here.
Was Pinky Tuscadero's sister Leather?
Yes, she was the singer.
That's right.
Yeah,
But
Pinky-
both were Fonzie's girlfriends, right?
No, not Leather.
Oh,
no,
I thought
no,
she was.
never
she-
Leather. No,
Was she
Pinky.
Chachi's?
No,
Oh.
no. She Leather kind of stayed her own thing. I think she had a little bit of a crush for Richie because they played in the band together.
That bad girl syndrome. Can't turn down a
know it.
lady in leather pants, can you, Randy?
No, you can't.
What else do we have? Plays of the night to pass along your way as well. Now, keep in mind, some of these are going to be scratches, but you've got one that's out, the other 3 are in. So far.
So we're going to start it off in, it was going to start off in race number 2 with the Tulsa King, but he will not be with us. Beat the favorite. What you looking at? Race 5 coming in here with an extremely stale date. Last race in December, but I thought he was real good then, and he comes out of a powerful barn. So I'm going to take a chance with what you're looking at a price. In all in is Seclusion in race number 8, and my worth a look is All Bets on Gary in race number 11.
Gary. All right, I've got this horse in the first race using this one as a reference, American Road Trip, because of the reference to our snowshoe horse that you're going to see a little bit later on, Run to the Hills. So I just thought we could get a little bit of a better price, and that's the case right now. Glenborough for the Cullens, of course, in race number 4 drops in to win as far as I'm concerned. We got a pop and drop from what you're looking at.
Nice pick.
Salisbrook Victor, I think he goes gate to wire tonight.
I completely agree.
Yay! I like it when you agree.
Yeah.
Lions Better Day, top selection from Ghislaine Paquette. You'll see that one in the 4th race. Jack Panic, a top selection from Garnet Barnsdale. And Get Wings, we showed you that horse as well. Talked about that one. Race 10 for Clevin Plowchap. That horse will come up in the late double. So once again, 12 races in store for you tonight, including 2 divisions of leg 2 of the snowshoe. The second one, the race number 2, unfortunately, we lose a whole bunch of horses in there because of weather scratches. So far, it looks like now we have 14 scratches on tonight's card. A bulk of them are weather scratches. Some of them are vet scratches. And speaking of weather, tomorrow we have more live racing, at least on the schedule for you. We are going to start things off at 6:15 as we race 4 nights a week. We start off on Fridays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Wear a toque.
Where I got my toque and I got my heated
No,
vest.
I mean, if you're going to come out Sunday, wear a toque.
Bring your snow shovel,
Bring
I'd
your snow
say.
shovel, too,
Everybody,
yes.
BYOS.
Snowshoes.
Alrighty, 12 races in store for you tonight, including the Open Pace, which comes up as race number 9. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we get a look at the horses for race number 1.